Hello, welcome. This is Augustine Emeka from Tclassified.com and jamwayeknekouni.com. Today we're going to be looking at JavaScript. JavaScript is one of the fundamental languages that you need to know about if you are stepping into programming. It's actually a programming language, unlike HTML that is a markup language and CSS that is for styling. JavaScript is a scripting language that you can also use as a programming language, and it has power to do many things to your website. So we're going to be starting an introductory class into JavaScript. So first of all, we're going to be looking at what is JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language that is used to make web pages interactive and dynamic. If you want to be seeing something like flashing of pictures on your website, you want it to be moving, you want your website to be able to show dates and do a whole lot of things, to be able to get updated automatically, then you can use this language JavaScript for that. You can use other languages like Python, PHP for all these, but JavaScript is very useful, and you can find out in Stack Overflow that many people are using JavaScript now. So it's a very important language to learn, in the sense that if you're working on front end, back end, and on connection with your database, you can use one single language to do all this, and that is JavaScript. So JavaScript is a programming language that is used to make web page interactive. It is an interpreted language, unlike other programming languages like Java and C++ that are compiled. JavaScript is not compiled, it's actually an interpreted language. JavaScript runs on the client's computer or the browser. That means you can use it to manipulate what you see on your web browsers, like when you get to your Google Chrome and your Mozilla Firefox. It is object based. That means it sees it can be written from the object oriented programming perspective, looking at every software as having functions and attributes. Now, some people normally say, is JavaScript the same thing as Java? Or what is the difference between JavaScript and Java? And we found out that they have similar name, but they are completely different. So JavaScript is not Java. Java is much more complex. Java has a steeper, is a little bit more difficult than JavaScript, and it can do powerful things because it can be used to do desktop applications. Java is in the same category as C programming or C++ programming, whereas JavaScript is a scripting language. Now, what can you do with JavaScript? You can use JavaScript to put content in an HTML page on the fly. That means you can use it to easily put content on the HTML page, which are one of the things that we'll be experimenting on when we start this lecture fully. You can use it to make web page responsive. You can use it to create forms so that you can make your web page to be responsive. You can use styling and a whole lot of things in connection with your JavaScript to make your web page to be very responsive. You can use it to dictate a user's browser and other info like date, time, location, and many other things. You can use it to create cookies. Cookies are some sort of program that you can use to collect clients' information when they are using the web browser. You can use JavaScript to validate forms. You can use JavaScript to create animations. You can see movements on websites and things like that. You can use it to create games as well. You can use it to do slideshows and scrollers. You can use JavaScript to build apps with frameworks like AngularJS, React, and Backbone, which we are going to be learning in detail in subsequent classes. Now, how do you compare HTML to JavaScript? They are completely different, and they work together. HTML is a markup language, and JavaScript is a programming as well as a scripting language. JavaScript uses events and actions to make your page interactive, and you have to learn HTML first before you start getting to JavaScript. Now, what are the fundamental things that we're going to be learning as we are starting our JavaScript? We're going to be learning about variables. We're going to be learning about arrays. Variables are actually uh, the things that we are going to be using to store values. We have arrays, collection of data. We have loops. We have conditionals. Loops is when we have things like for loop, while loop, and the rest. Conditionals when we have things like if else statements, comparison and operators in mathematics and other logical operators, objects. We're going to be looking at object-oriented programming, looking at JavaScript from that very perspective of abstraction, polymorphism, and the rest of them. Program flow, data types, prototypes, events. So those are the things we are going to be looking at. Now, what do I need to run? What do you need to have in your computer for you to run JavaScript? Number one, you need Google Chrome. Like me, that's what we're going to be using. That's the web browser that we're going to be using to run JavaScript. You also need Mozilla Firefox if that's what you have. If you have Safari, if you have Internet Explorer, any of these browsers. I'll bet you that Google Chrome is the best from my little experience on this. Now, for you to write the JavaScript code that you can then run on any of the browsers mentioned above, you need a text editor like Notepad, Sublime Text, or Visual Studio Code. In these our the examples that we'll be giving, we are going to be using Notepad and Visual Studio Code, but you can also use Sublime Text if you want. So we are going to start coding. So we are going to be choosing the editor that we are going to be choosing in our own will be uh, Visual Studio Code and Notepad. Please, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. If you have any question relating this and any other thing that we've been given on this site, please uh, put it on this comment section so that I can easily see it and answer you. Please check out our website at www.jambwayeknekouni.com. You'll be seeing a lot of news concerning school there and every other news that you want to hear about the country and the world. Thanks for your subscriptions and support. Thank you, and God bless you.